and welcome to the solutions video for Khan Academy's Precalculus, Reducing Rational Expressions to Lowest Terms, Error Analysis. So again, making sure we can faintly see our name in the upper right-hand corner so we know we're logged in. Now, Andre is trying to reduce this to lowest terms. Andre has correctly factored each of the numerator and denominator. And looking at excluded values, he correctly identified the plus or minus 4 from the denominator. The -1 in the numerator is false. We never get our excluded values from the numerator. Anything there is allowed. So beyond that, his work is correct. His mistake is that he excluded a value that did not need to be excluded. Now Camilla tried to reduce this to lowest terms, and her numerator is not factored correctly. This is not the difference of perfect squares. That would have been x squared minus 4. So this plus 2 should not be here. It should be x minus 2 squared for the numerator. So the denominator does have the right excluded values, but she has canceled a term that should not cancel. It should be x minus 2 squared over x plus 2 squared. So she didn't factor the numerator correctly. McKenna tried to reduce the following expression to lowest terms. So here she correctly pulled 5 out of the numerator. The denominator is also factored correctly. And she canceled to simplify to the equivalent expression, and then found her excluded values of x equals or cannot be 2. But remember, if we have a value that's excluded at any point in the calculation, it's excluded at every point in the calculation. The fact that she has canceled x minus 4 does not change the fact that x equals 4 is still an excluded value. So she did not exclude this value, which makes the denominator in the original expression equal to 0. And finally, Joyce is reducing this expression to lowest terms. So yes, we have the x plus 2x minus 4. That is the correct factoring of the numerator. We've correctly factored the denominator. The excluded value, this is a very common error, putting in x cannot equal 0. A lot of students just instinctively put x cannot be 0 at any point. It's not that x cannot be 0, it's that the entire denominator cannot be 0. So you have to figure out, when does 2x plus 4 equal 0? And that's at x equals -2. So she excluded 0, but that does not make the denominator as a whole equal to 0. That makes it equal to 4. And there's nothing wrong with that. So this concludes our solution for the rational expressions to lowest terms error analysis.